Welcome to another daily database insights. And in this video, we're going to go back and try to fix all the space issues that we were seeing on the uh, Windows drives, on the drive systems here. So we had an issue with the F drive. You can see the C drive is running out of space. And so what I'm going to do here is normally I would launch the control panel, and if this was a VMware virtual machine, then you would access configuration manager here and go to its properties, go to the cache, and you should be able to reclaim some of the configuration of VMware cache from the C drive. But since this is not VMware, so it's different. So the other option here is, like I mentioned, I'm going to run this Windows directory stats application that I have, and then we can diagnose what is actually really taking space, and we can just manually delete it. So I'll look at the C drive. Let's see what happens. It's gonna go in there and try to identify what is actually taking space, and then we can easily pinpoint what to quickly look at as soon as possible. While that is loading, let me check on something else. Okay, that's excuse me, I'm gonna take some time. While that is doing that, let me go to the F drive. I've kind of looked at this. I've come to the data folder, and I've already seen that the log file for the ops instance is way too big. So what I need to do there is pretty simple. I need to shrink that log, and again, this is my lab environment. I can do to this environment whatever I please. But if you are in a production environment, you probably would need to tread carefully in terms of reclaiming that space. So in this environment, most likely the reason why the log file is actually full to capacity is because I don't have a job that is constantly doing backups on that database. So if I come over here and I'm just gonna back it up, that's gonna be the first way to actually try to fix it. So we'll have to first back this up, and it is gonna take some time there. While that is going on, I'm gonna show you something. You often need, before you can actually shrink any data file or any log file, you need to check this. Command here. This is going to tell you exactly what's going on the log. So msdb, before it can be shrinked, it is actually waiting on a log backup, and most of all these things are waiting on a log backup. That brings me to the next thing we need to discuss, is how to schedule your backup maintenance job, because you're going to need it. If you ever run out of space in your environment, most likely it means that your log file is, most likely, but not often, you need to go check the file system, and there could be a chance that there was a heavy transaction that occurred that blew the size of your log file, or maybe somebody was testing something and there was a log backup that was disabled, and therefore there was just a lot of space that was consumed by the log file. And then what happens after that is, when you are getting ready to now, try to re-enable that job, it's going to create a really, really huge backup file. In this instance here, you can see it's already taking 2 minutes to do this. If this was production, then this is exactly the way to approach it. But since this is not production, I would cancel this, because I really don't care about this laboratory environment. But if it was in production, you need to approach it carefully. So alter database, set recovery, and again, we've talked about recovery models. Set recovery simple. What this does is it gets rid of all the redo transactions on the transaction log. Then now I could shrink it to reclaim all that space. Now you can see it's ready to be shrunk. And let's wait for it. Everything is slow on the box. So we're looking at it now. Meanwhile, this is still running slow. We're waiting for that as well. Oh, and look at that. It is already shrunk. So if we were to go back to the F drive, you can see we've reclaimed about 23 gigs on that. So the next thing is we're gonna have to create a backup maintenance job to avoid this situation from ever occurring again, which we're going to talk about in the subsequent video. But while that is happening, we're still waiting on this to really understand why this C drive, what is really taking space on this C drive. Let me look. I can start trying to investigate here. I can see there's a user that's been dumping things here, because it's still loading all that data. Let me see. Yeah, we have a lot of users. It's not easy to tell unless I try to expand it, and I can tell that the SQL agent is the user. If I come over here, still not sure what it is trying to do. There is some application data that is happening, something local. There is some temporary files that it is holding. Alright, I've accessed all this through the file system, and what I'm going to do is I am going to clean all that up, because I need to delete all that to reclaim myself about 1.5 gig. I mean, that's the first place. So anyway, this tool, you can use the Windows directory stats tool. You can use another tool called TreeSize, or any other useful tool out there that could easily help you figure out where the space issue currently lies. let's see what happens here. Alright, that is deleted. Let's come back. We have about 1.5 gig. Not enough, but we continue to look for more space to reclaim. Okay, so there's another. So this is and yeah, so I'll keep looking for opportunities to clean up, but at least that gives you an idea of what you need to do to clean up. And of course, you just can't clean up anything. You have to be really cautious when you're trying to clean up stuff, because you have to only delete what can be deleted. Otherwise, you may end up deleting something that was critical to the operating system. So be careful when you are trying to clean up the C drive in particular. Well, my screen is still frozen and it's gonna take some time, but yeah, this is really the direction to clean up your C drive. If it's running from VMware, you can go to the configuration manager, properties, access the cache tab, and go to configuration settings, and you should be able to delete the cached data. That would give your environment some space. Sometimes there's a lot of space, especially when we have the VMware tools installed and it's cached in your SQL Server C drive or in your Server C drive. Other than that, you need this tool that goes in and check your directories and maps it into a space utilization tree, and you can easily tell and filter and walk through down the different folders, and just be cautious as you try to delete things. If you don't use the Windows directory stats, then you can use something else called TreeSize. That is also something important when it comes to cleaning up space. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, leave them on the comment section. And if you know anybody else who needs to know how to do this, you must show them this video. Thank you and have a good day.